Well, hello, YouTubers. Here's Robbo update again. Trying to engage with the community of pipe smokers out there. Well, trying is being the word for it. Anyway, what have we got here? I'm not the most sophisticated person in the world. I'm not going to tell you that everything that I do is the best thing you could possibly do. And my way is the only way. It's not like that. I've been smoking pipes on and off for 6 years. I've really taken it seriously for the last 2 years. I've taken it more seriously. It's allowed me to give up cigarettes, horrible cigarettes. So I smoke a pipe a couple of times a week, and I smoke snuff most of the time. I smoke snuff, you know what I mean, I inhale snuff. So I don't smoke much anymore. So what I wanted to look at today was some of the things that I quite like, and also want to have a look at this pipe, which is the Dr. Plumb Quintex. Here we have the Dr. Plumb Quintex. I also wanted to show you its marriage along with Pete Stockaby's Balkan mix. So we'll have a look at that. That's in this urn here. Say hello to Ernie. And that's what we got here. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to pack the pipe the way I do it and have a bit of fun with it and see what happens. Okay? I don't normally smoke indoors, but the weather is terrible here in Wales. We've had nothing but rain, and that's what we're going to do. So just move things a bit closer to perhaps you can see. These are great little camping bowls you can buy from Tesco. Well worth the investment, a couple of quid. So, Pete Stockaby's Balkan mixture. So, let's have a look. You can feel that, you can smell that spicy perique straight out of the bowl. And if you can just about, there's got to be some Cavendish or something on there. There's quite a lot of black Cavendish, which gives it a bit of a sweet Balkan flavour to it. It's very, very, very interesting flavours going on in there. It's different to most of the Balkans. Some say it was like that Sabrain, Balkan Sabraini, or whatever it's called, which I can't buy anymore. But a lot of people often say about that, and apparently it's quite close. It's got that sweet taste of a Balkan. Rather than all spicy. I can be honest, I like all Balkan. Most of what I've got is Balkan, or a variation of a theme. So let's start off then. So get my lighter out of my pocket. So things a pipe smoker needs: a lighter or matches. Some people like matches, I like a lighter. A pipe. In this case, it's the Dr. Plumb Quintex. Quintex because it's got a special cooling system which goes in there. It makes it a little bit of a bugger to clean, and you see it's rusticated version. There's also smooth versions. We've got the rusticated version here. I don't usually use this in the outdoors. In the indoors, I usually use it in the outdoors when I'm out and about with my camera taking photos. I tend to. It's very light, it's very nice to carry around. It's a nice sized bowl, and it doesn't seem to get as affected by the wind. It was in very, very strong wind conditions last year in Somerset last summer. Very, very strong winds. Still managed to get a reasonably good smoke with this and this very Balkan. Although in higher winds I would advise a flake rather than ribbon cut. It does seem to hold a lot better. So anyway, let's go. So we've got my pipe. I adhere I adhere to that idea of soft, firmer and firmer for the third lot. So what I mean by that is, get my tobacco. It's great because I've got Ernie. I can actually fit it quite well in here to start with. I drop it. Just literally gravity. I let gravity feed on the first fill. I don't put any pressure at all. really, just to get it sort of in the bowl, okay, roughly, just hardly any pressure. If you could agree, that's hardly any pressure. Then on the second, I put a little bit more pressure just to get the tobacco in there. So, now it's quite mixed, this tobacco. It's great because you've got a little bit of roughness in there as well. So it was hardly any pressure now, just enough to kind of put it in position. But now I'm going to go around a little bit, just a little tiny bit of pressure, just to sort of imagine taking up a little bit of space. The air space is inside, so that kind of tobacco is always lightly making contact with each other rather than there being spaces and gaps. And then the third is much tighter. Now the whole purpose of this is not just for fun. The idea is that inside the bowl the pressure is even throughout, so the tobacco flows nice. And if the tobacco is even when it goes from there, it should burn more even and you'll get a better smoke. Now what I do find is each tobacco and every tobacco has a kind of different way that you need to or different pressures, but you do get used to that because you get used to the feeling of it. Is it dry? Even the dryness will affect how tight it needs to be. The drier it is, obviously the tighter you will need to compress to try and get that tobacco in there. The little bit of moisture is good, it makes it a lot easier to get it in and press it in. Really dry tobaccos, like I've got brown burley, you almost really pushed it in to try to get it, but you get that feel of how tight you should get it. But let's be honest about it, don't kill yourself over it, you know. Try to get it in. Take your time. Don't feel you're going to rush it. And test it. As long as you've got good airflow coming through there, you're not going to have any problems at all. So I've done that now, and I put a little bit of pressure on it, and I've got probably about 1/4 of an inch of space in there. Okay, so I don't want space, so let's go for it. Now again, I'm just filling the bowl up, testing it, making sure that it's okay. Fill, fill the bowl. Don't really overfill it, because what you're going to find is as you're compressing it, when you heat it, the tobacco will expand and make a little bit of a mess, so you don't want that. Here's my tamper, purchased from eBay for about £4. Again, I'm taking my time, spinning the bowl around, trying to make sure that more importantly, that the tobacco is layering on each other and is close to each other, and there's no air gaps in here in the bowl, and that there's an even pressure all the way up. Now obviously, if it's too tight, that could be a little bit more of a problem, because if it's too tight, you'd have to unpack it all. So in a way, try not to pack it too tight. If it's not tight enough, it's no big deal. As you tamp in later on, you get that balance at some stage, but don't put it too loose. I told my brother off a couple of weeks ago, he was putting it in too loose. He said, "Oh yeah, that's how I like it." And I said to him, "You're going to have a flame or something going into your mouth one day." And it happened to him last week, and he had all ulcers. Literally, he was getting so hot that the flames were coming through the pipe. I mean, how dumb is that? But I did warn him about it. It happened. Unbelievable. So be careful up there, guys. Right. So I'm pretty happy with that. Seems to be okay. So lighter. Now, what you're aiming for here, you want to try to get, I'm not hoping to smoke it at this stage. What I'm going to do is try to get a char, very much like a cigar. So like if you were trying to get a cigar, you want the char light. The char light is quite important for keeping the heat in there. You want to try to make it an oven inside there, a mini oven. And the oven will make sure that you get a nice gradual burn, rather than like my brother, and you've got a nuclear burn. It's just going to burn up in no time at all. And really it's all about finding that balance, because you don't want too much moisture in either. You want it to burn at a nice rate, which balances the heat inside there, which is evaporating off moisture. So you want to get that balance between the two. It's a science and an art to try to get that right. And every tobacco, like I said, is slightly different and depends on the humidity and many things. It's such a strange thing to do, but it is so rewarding. It's never the same twice, mine. As a result of it, you'll never have the same smoke exactly the same, and sometimes tobaccos will taste differently because of the way you've packed it. So let's have a look. I think I'm ready for a light now, so let's have a look. So first of all, I'm trying to get a char on it. I'm trying only to inhale as I'm lighting it. Now that's just my char burn, and I'm lightly tamping it down, ever so lightly. Don't want to tap it down too heavy, because don't forget I've already set it up. Now I've got a flatter edge coming, but I can still see a little bit of tobacco, so I want a little bit of a carbon layer on the top. My aim is now we get in there. The carbon layer on the top is so crucial. And there we have it. It's now pretty much in. Now if it's going out like it is there, it needs a little bit more tamping, a little bit more pressure on it to get that evenness there. It shouldn't really go out unless you want it to. There we go, tamp it a little bit more. Go. Right, with this tobacco you get a little bit of spiciness, and you get a little bit of spicy flavour on your tongue, and then you just get enveloped by this sweet, like trifle, that flavour that you get from it, a lovely sweet, wonderful flavour on this tobacco. If you feel that it's going out, slightly cover the hole on the top, cover the bowl, not entirely, and you can bring it a light. Sometimes what I also do is I kind of blow down as well, just to put a little bit of air in it to fan it from time to time. Sorry, I just got lost again in the middle. Just enjoy. I mean, that's what it's all about. Don't need to get too precious about it. Go in there, light up a pipe. It's a great hobby. It doesn't seem to ever get boring, and you know, you're always learning, and that's the most important thing about anything, to keep you interested. And there's always plenty of stuff. if you're like an obsessed collector like myself, there's always more to collect. This is good tobacco. It's almost like sweet and sour at the same time, or probably a little bit more sweet. You'll also have little evidence that you're doing something right. If you actually look, you can see there, you can see white charring, white ash. If you've got a good even burn of white ash on the top, that's usually a good sign that one, the tobacco is good, and two, that you're in the ballpark and that things are working out for you. But don't feel that you have to get it right in one light. It's not a competition that you're going to get in the Danish pipe shop or something. It's a competition where who's going to last the longest on one match. You're trying to relax, chill out. Sometimes it might take 2 or 3 lights. You don't know when you're going to get there, but give it a go. This is really, really good tobacco. I think it's a bit of a crowd pleaser. If you want to sort of get an introduction to Balkans, go for it. Go and get yourself some of this pit stockery. It's a great sort of introduction, I think. It's quite sweet, and if you especially want to make a jump from aromatics to real tobaccos, it's a great, great option for that. And that's pretty much all I wanted to do today. Thank you, YouTubers, and keep your videos going, because I've been watching your videos a long, long time, and keep on going, because I prefer them to any television that we have here in Britain. Okay, so let's see if she's still alive. No, she's gone now. But anyway, I'm going to smoke the rest of that, and I will catch you soon.